It was very
skinny.
okay.
She was like, I got fucked by a finger.
It was hard to hold on to, and he was like,
I needed to be roped in.
Yeah, he kept falling out, and I was like, I'm kind of having a hard time.
Welcome back to the MiscELENAeous podcast. I'm your host, Elena Davies. And this week is really fun and special because we have Lacey Gee in studio, and we have a really beautiful origin story. And if you're an OG misfit, if you come from the Kid Craddock days, which I know at least a couple of you do, more than that, you know who Lacey is. So I don't have to introduce her.
So, Elena, I don't know if you know this. Do you realize that you and I recorded our first podcast ever together? Or at least it was mine, unless you had recorded one before me. Because if you remember, whenever Yay Network's Kid Craddock show started podcast, I brought you and Amy in on the very first podcast. And the three of us did a podcast together. Now, it was absolute crap because none of us had podcasted before. And I think the number one rule of podcasting is you need to get one and dump it. Just get it out the way like you would a baby or pump and dump or something. I don't know why I'm using that reference, but just go ahead and throw it away. Don't throw away the baby. Throw away the podcast episode.
Yeah. Drink the beer, pump, throw out the milk, then feed your kid.
Yeah, but that was my very first podcast, even though it never got posted. Was that yours?
It was.
Okay.
And I so love that you brought that up because I did not remember that. I didn't even remember that we did that. Now that you say it, I obviously do, but I don't think that I would have ever had that recovered memory because when I was, and that would have, well, I was going to say I was still new at Kid Craddock, but I feel like the whole time I was there, I was new at Kid Craddock. But I was there when they launched podcasting. And so Caroline Craddock and I had a podcast, and I would have, in my mind, I always say that was my first time to do a podcast, but it wasn't.
Yeah, the three of us got together and did one.
We lost our podcast virginity together. That is sexy, bro. I bet all of you people at home are just fucking circle jerking, thinking about that. Hot. So hot. Loves it.
So Elena was my first.
Lacey was my first.
Yeah.
It was obviously bad, which is why you can't find it on the internet.
I wish I still had the raw file, though, now.
The raw file.
Yeah. Raw file.
Yeah. But honestly,
it sounds like it could be so much dirtier, but it's not. I'm saying raw file.
We really did just raw dog that podcast, though. Like there was no prep. There was no nothing.
We didn't know what we were doing.
We just went right in. Yeah.
And I don't think that we also thought that we necessarily could. Not that, we didn't deserve to, but the way that the company was, it's we'll do people favors, but it's not necessarily building up everybody, which is more in the era that I'm in now. I used to not be a build up, everybody help everybody else kind of person, and now I am. And looking back, they were never like that. So I don't think we were necessarily put in here for success or supposed to still be making it. But,
I was there at the wrong time. Much like Big Brother, I land everywhere I think I'm meant to be, just at either a little too soon or a little too late. But that's so funny. I'm so glad you bring that up. And so it's our origin story. You're one of my core memories from working at Kid Craddock because I essentially took your job and you went into editing and producing full time, and then you trained me. So I was working for my mom still, but I would come in to Kid Craddock in the morning when I first started, and Lacey I was just kind of shadowing you, watching her. She was a phone screener, and I never met Kid, but I always remember this. I don't know who told me. It was probably Nick, the associate producer, told me that Kid would always say, the phone screener is a really important job because you're letting someone else that you have no idea is funny or anything onto the podcast. And, you can't count on what they're going to say. You can't, trust that it's going to be, okay or funny or relevant. And so that's an important job to filter quickly in real time and a lot of pressure. And so I learned that quickly.
And you have to judge people based on their voices.
Yeah.
Do I want to listen to your voice? Nah, I don't want to listen to your voice.
Yeah, there's so many things that go into it.
Yeah. I mean, that's sad, but it's aesthetically pleasing. You want to be able to listen to somebody. You don't want nails on a chalkboard or something.
Right. And I guess I guess I don't sound awful, guys, because my actual Kid Craddock origin story is I was just once I was once a caller. Mm-hmm. That was my first time on the radio.
What did you call in about?
See, that I didn't. Kelly called me. It was like a week or two after Kid passed that everybody was back on air. And I think it was a lot of just like, what do we do? Like, what content do we do? Like, what can we do to have a show without, how do we have the Kid Craddock show without Kid? Like, what do we do? Mm-hmm. And so they put something out online that was like, send us your phone number. We're going to call like 10 people, something. And it was something they did after the show was recorded live, just in case it sucked. Or they wanted to edit somebody out that sucked. Then, you know, it could go in on the next day's show. So yeah, Kelly called me and we talked for like 10 minutes. And I remember listening to it the next day, and my clip on there was like 2 or 3 minutes or something. And everybody else is like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And I listened to the radio and specifically the Kid Craddock show so much that I'm like, that's a long time for a listener to talk on the phone. Mm-hmm. And then Kelly just kept calling me. So I was like, okay.
Do you want to know how cocky I am, though?
Please tell me, because that's so on brand.
Nothing but yes, it does have to do with your conversation. Okay, because you and I are in radio and podcasting, we obviously know the art of talking. There is a skill to be had, and as a call screener, you realize that as well. Now, whenever I see regular people with podcasts, like I have some hairdressers who have this fabulous podcast. Hair Color Confessionals is the name of it. They're on YouTube. This is like a big deal, what they're doing. I looked at them in amaze because I was like, oh my gosh, for a regular person, you can talk. And then I was like, who the fuck am I gatekeeping the English language? Like, just because you're a regular ass person, you can still speak. But you know how it is to be able to stumble on a personality and have somebody who can just deliver. Like, that is, not everybody can do that. And you're not supposed to just have that skill if that's not a skill set of yours. So when other people have it, it's like,
surprising.
Wow.
I know.
You're all honestly sounding good and stuff without training. It took college to make me sound this good. Do I sound good?
You sound great.
Okay, thanks.
You're hilarious. It took trauma to make me sound this good. So just a quick shout out to my father. Hope you're listening. Thank you for my success.
That's why I think you and I are going to get along together very well, because I want to know. I mean, I know, but I think as long as we've known each other, we've taken separate paths and I have had different lives since then.
Yeah,
and so
your life both of our lives have changed a lot since, like, major changes.
Yeah. So to be able to come back together and then realize that I am, in fact, a fucked in the head person, then that's not shocking, but it's still something I have to deal with.
And listen, folks, if you like this podcast, there's a chance you need to see a doctor, okay? If you can, because if you're here, you can relate, and if you can relate, there's just an umbrella of neurodivergence that you might want to look into. I'm not a medical professional. I know we joke. I'm Dr. Davies, he hoo ha, but I'm just saying, just look into it, Google it or something. Start on Google.
Whenever I worked with you, I didn't like you. I did not like you.
I was going to bring it
No,
up.
I didn't like you. I didn't like you.
Bring it up on the podcast. I was waiting.
I did not like you. I did not like you at all. And it was all for the wrong reasons. I didn't know how to take you. First off, you were...
That's very Elena.
You were...
And that's a compliment to me, by the way.
I mean, it is. You were another female, so that's competition already, even though we weren't necessarily doing the same thing, but we're almost pit up against each other. But also, I was a little narrow-minded, unhappy housewife that I didn't realize that I was. And so you come in and you're fresh and you're different and you had a fucking dirty ass mouth. And I was like...
And that's why they wanted me to
leave. Wow. So you got on my nerves. I did not like you and I was not nice to you. And I do apologize for that because I do see where I...
Listen,
it was a whole different ass person then. And
that is not an unpopular opinion, though. A half of the people that work there did not like me. Half of those people now still don't like me. And I don't really care because whatever.
I didn't understand you because
if you get to know me, like you probably will like me.
Well, my
I'll
life
talk you
was
into it.
Quote unquote perfect. It was what it should have been. And I also didn't realize what a wreck it was. And I didn't realize that I was unhappy and projecting that because it was just this whole ass thing going on because I got married to the guy that I'm supposed to marry. We had a picture perfect life. We would travel to Europe every single year. And then you're over here. I'm straight up putting words in your mouth. I'm saying this sarcastically, banging dudes and talking about it. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm over here happily married with my husband who doesn't love me, but I haven't quite come to terms with that yet. And so I didn't like you. I did not like you. Then the minute I became single, you know what I became? Elena fucking Davies. You're damn right I became Elena fucking Davies.
And
it is fun.
Love it.
It is fun.
It's so fun to be me.
I love my single life. And now I'm the one that my friends are like, can we not just talk about dick all the time? And I'm like, but like, you know, I think I'm so independent.
We can talk about balls if you want to like mix it up.
I'm
Ooh,
also in my
gooch.
Elena Davies era.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking era.
It is an era.
It's fun. And people want to try to solve it for you too. Like they want me to date, but I'm so not turned on by that now. And I'm enjoying being single. And then I will have these fuck boys that all of a sudden love me. Like, just the way they look at me. And it's like, I can't.
Okay,
I'm not
so
there.
we are both in our 30s.
Mm-hmm.
How many like young 20-year-olds
All of
are
them.
just like, yep,
Yeah. So much so that I
more
thought
than the ones my age. Nobody my age really wants to date me, but if you are like 21 and a half or like 58, you are like after this pussy. But like if you're a responsible 34-year-old like accountant, just not interested. And I get that. I think it's for every reason you've said. Everything you've said about me is probably why the 34-year-old accountant doesn't want to date me. He's like, I can't take that to my mom or church or the
No.
grocery store.
So I've had so many.
I can't. I'm so shocked by the young guys, though. It's crazy.
Well, okay, I'm older than you. I'm almost 40, and
but you, to be fair, we both look like we're like 24.
well, but I mean, age is an age. It doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if your dick is big enough, that's the number we're worried about, folks.
I
kidding.
didn't think.
Just kidding.
Okay, I was never supposed to be divorced in the first place, so that was something shocking that happened later in life. That I never thought I was going to be single again. So I was never supposed to be single. Then I was never supposed to be bagging and tagging all these fuck boys, but I am.
Tagging.
I thought I was getting hit on by so many young 20-something-year-old guys that I was like, is it a TikTok trend that I don't know about? And I'm into trends.
Oh my God.
But I thought these guys were trolling me, and somebody had to break it down. They're like, well, Lacey, what is it that you have that they don't have? I have a house. I have a job. I know how to cook. Yeah, they want to come stay with me. The fucking problem, Elena Davies, is I'm now that I own my own home and I'm almost 40, I am a sugar mama, and now these fuck boys want to move in. So I brought one boy home one day. He looks at my game room, got a 3-bedroom house, got a game room, got all this different stuff going
that's
on.
very Elena Davies of you to just take over your own house and make it
Yeah.
all about you.
Oh,
like
yeah.
extra bedroom, no. Game room, yes.
Yeah. I've got Papa Shot basketball, I've got darts, I've got workout, I've got everything in
I
there.
turned my extra bedroom into a closet, so
This
very
24-year-old
on
comes
brand
over.
for both of our brands.
Yeah. This 24-year-old comes over and he was like, did you know this could also be a bedroom? Like, I could live here if you want a roommate. And I said, yeah, it could also be a nursery, but it's fucking not. Bye. That's the only problem with the young ones.
Could not have said anything better in the world.
Yeah,
to
sugar
that.
mama. Sugar mama. I know. I'm sure you get that too.
Okay, so here was my theory. I've just always said every year I get hotter and better at sex, so I feel like that's why they're coming after me. They've figured it out. They're like, these 20-year-olds, they don't know their way around a dick.
Mm-hmm.
They also appreciate like our experience. You know, we've been bagging and tagging.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we're up to.
And once upon a time, I thought 40 was old. Now that I'm 40, I don't feel it. But I also
That's what the
being
40-year-olds were saying when we were 15, and I was like, these fucking losers.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you're so fucking old. No.
But you're really
now-
trying to rationalize it.
Now I'm 40. I can go literally 21 to 55.
Oh, we have
probably,
range. We have range.
Is my age range. And I will say, waking up on my 39th birthday this year with a 22-year-old was very brag-worthy. I accidentally slept with a 22-year-old, but then it was good, so I circled back.
Okay, listen.
I wasn't going to give a 22-year-old a chance, because what can you do? What can you do, boy? I think nothing. And then
I have a confession. I haven't told anyone this. It's not like it's that big of a deal, but just since you're just
Tell me.
leading the path to this, I also accidentally had sex with a 21-year-old within the last 2.5 weeks or so.
Did he throw up on your couch too?
Hi, Mom. No, it was like a hotel situation. I mean, he didn't buy it because he's 21. But he did buy me like a couple games at like Dave & Buster's. So, I mean, I whooped his ass at skee ball. I'll say that.
So my 22-year-old, one day he threw up on my couch. That almost got him not laid at all. But there was a separate time, like not that day.
She was
but
like,
that almost cut him off for life.
Through, my boy.
That was almost cut off for life if you're gonna be throwing up on my couch. But the problem with the young ones, though, you gotta fucking feed them, and I don't have food at my house, and so young boy, with
that's
all
how
this
you don't feed them.
I'm ordering. I mean, the other day he ate. And this is casual. I'm not dating. Don't get me wrong. But anyway,
you got like a lazy Susan of them.
Yeah.
You just have a lazy Susan.
He had like multiple DoorDashes because I don't have any food. And I'm like, what do you want me to do for you? I'm not going to raise you too. Like,
yeah, that's a lot. Like you want me to make you come and make you dinner?
Yeah. And
pick
breakfast.
one.
Yeah.
Pick one. And honestly, I can't make dinner. So you'll probably accidentally pass away because I will like switch out like bleach for like baking soda or something. Do you even use baking soda in cooking? I don't know. I really don't know. Do you, Mom? She said yes.
You can. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you are doing the younger 20-year-old thing because I have other friends that are in their mid to late 30s and I will say they maybe don't get hit on by like younger people as much, but if and when they do, they're like immediately no. And I'm like immediately at least curious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right?
I mean, but it depends on what you're looking for. I'm not looking, and I've had exactly the opposite experience. I've had someone tell me, I had a friend tell me one day, I'm not going to wait another year for you. And I said, why did you wait a year for me? How could I not be any more clear that I'm not going to be with you? But then people want wives and think, oh, I'm single. Well, this is perfect timing. Now it's going to be me and Lacey together forever. And I'm like, I don't even know what's out there, but I also, I'm
like
not,
other
I'm not
people are
trying to date.
deciding for you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is when and who.
I might
They're
be
deciding for you. They're like, she's going to be my wife.
I might be scarily
My wife.
single for the rest of my life because I am that content. If it wasn't for sex, I would be completely fine without guys.
Yo.
I might need you for that. But other than
Vibrators.
that, I had a friend over the other day and I was carrying like 2 dogs, a bunch of beer. I think I had a bong. I have all this stuff. And he's like, let me give you a hand. And I was like, I don't need you. Yeah. I literally don't need you. I don't need you. I don't want you. Like, we can be friends, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The ones who are interested in me, I'm not interested in. And then the ones who aren't interested in me because I'm fucked in the head, then I'm like, you don't like me? What's wrong with you? Let me see if I can convince you otherwise.
It's the most miserable cycle. Yeah, I'm like I'm like kind of thinking you don't want me. I'm like, well, now I guess it's my whole entire, I guess I have to quit my job so I can just make you fall in love with me. And then like once you do, I'm going to be like, meh.
And you don't even want them. It's just your trauma who wants them. It's the trauma of, we're so used to being able to win people over. If we don't win somebody over, then it's like, oh, I can fix you.
I finally won her over.
I can fix you.
I didn't even have to eat her out. I won her over, folks. It took how many years?
It took a while for me to come around.
Years.
It took a while for me to be around you again.
Yeah,
I mean, to run in the same circles with you.
She listen. She had to experience me, process it, go through an entire life change, experience and feel things that were different, and then be like, wait, she maybe wasn't like the worst.
Yeah.
That's like a long commute to getting to like me. There's like traffic on the way. There's an accident.
But it was never you all along. I
was just myself.
You were there, but I mean, it wasn't just you. I don't know that you could have done anything different to make me feel differently than I did then. It was just what frame of mind I was in at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I'm not like that anymore because holy fuck, life is so hard to do by yourself. And if I would have gone from divorce to not having backup and not having friends and not having people I could rely on, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
And that's what changed my mindset. That and politics kind of is what changed my mindset in the last couple of years, to where it's like, okay, it does take a village. It takes a village for everybody to be okay. I would much rather
we
you
all
be okay.
literally evolve throughout life. I've changed so much. Like, remember, Mom, when you used to drop me off, at preschool for picture day, and now you like take pictures of my ass for OnlyFans? Just such a
full circle moment.
Just such a, isn't it beautiful? Good memories. But yeah, the evolution of people. Look at us. Look at us now.
So I want to know what's been going on with you, because it's been a minute since I've listened to the MiscELENAeous podcast. I did catch the rebranding and that kind of stuff, but all I see is you looking hot and vacationing. Confirm that this is your life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I will say, listen, I'm not going to not reuse content, okay? If I start stumbling through my own camera roll, which is like one of like my favorite books. It's a picture book. But if I find something and I'm like, wait, my ass looks great in that, why isn't that on the internet? I'm like, let me come up with a reason for that to be on the internet. And also, like, those vacations just make me happy. If you ever want to be topless on a yacht, call me. I'm your girl.
So are you vacationing for free? So you're getting people to go with you?
Mm-hmm.
And then that funds, right?
Yeah, so the company reached out to me and wanted to kind of work with me, so they offered me a free trip, and it like changed my life. So now I'm kind of like, I was like, I want to help y'all get to reach more people that are like-minded, that fit in, not to say that people wouldn't fit in, but that would enjoy that type of trip. It's not for everyone. Because like I would have never, ever, 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 ever heard of it, probably. And so
is it like an adults trip? Is that why you're saying that? Okay,
yeah.
So it's like,
well, it's like Yacht Week, but like with a twist and a little bit more like party. And
is this like Temptation Island? I don't want to trigger you with Island.
It's reality TV. No, it's like Temptation Island meets like a traveling sex cult meets like a touch of non-DNA incestual vibes. In the
had
sense
me until
of
incestual.
but non-DNA. It's just the fact of like, it's like the community of people kind of remains. Like there's a core group of like the company's called The Bucket Lust. So there's like a core group of lusters that like go on most trips, have been on a ton of trips. And obviously we bring in new people. I'm a new people. But yeah, in that community, like people are just like, that
sounds like a lot of fun.
Bagging and tagging.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Do you want to come?
I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get packing.
Yeah. When's the next trip?
I'm going to Croatia the first week of July.
I'm going to be in Anna's wedding. I'll be getting back on the 2nd.
Listen, there are future trips. Wait, Gillette, you just fly to wherever we're at. We'll be somewhere in Croatia. I have no idea where.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
It's like my new personality. It's my whole personality now. I'm into sailing. Okay.
And but you don't have to do the work yourself. Someone else does it.
Yeah, there's a skipper, the captain, and then there's a whole entire chef.
Okay.
I've never had better food than on these boats. When that sounds so dramatic. Fucking good, dude. It's wild. They're like over there like filleting fish and shit. And I'm like, granted, I'm hungover, so I'm like, how are you doing that? But yeah, no, you have to come on a trip. You have to. Okay, so every week on the MiscELENAeous podcast, we have a mishap. Do you happen to have a mishap? Even a dating? I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds like none of your dating stuffs are really like mishap. It sounds like you're doing great. Other than that barfing on the couch situation and them expecting you to feed them, like it sounds like you're thriving. Yeah. So you probably don't have any dating mishaps.
Well, I do have one. This is going to kind of take a minute to get there, but it all wraps back around to earlier this week. So,
ooh, in real time.
Yes.
Dramatics. I love it.
So I'm bougie. I always have been. I like nice things, as do we all. But I also
shout out
listening to Kelly Raspberry for so long. She has always said, like, if you want to meet somebody, you need to go to nice steakhouses. Do you like happy hour there? Well, my favorite steakhouse, I live right by my favorite steakhouse, B&B Butcher in Fort Worth. And I was a little bit nervous because I'm by myself. Going out by yourself is awkward, first off, because I can't tell if I'm going to go to a nice steakhouse by myself and sit at the bar, and then you look around and you see everybody else is doing the exact same thing, or it's couples, or it's people you wouldn't talk to, then I'm not necessarily the one who's going to reach out to other people necessarily. Well, I ended up meeting this guy, took him home. This is I was going to say one and only, but that's not true. Two and only, whatever.
I love that she said she took him home. I just want to point out that like the semantics there are notable.
So guy talks to me and we end up having a good time, and he lives right there at the apartments. And so he was like, you want to go back to my house and have some wine? And yeah, I mean, I took him home, but to his house or whatever. It was great.
Still, it's the way you say it. He wants some wine and dick, and you're like, see.
And it was my first time to straight up say, because used to women don't sleep together on the first date. But I don't even know if I like you, and I don't know if I want to date you, but I do know that I think that sex is important, and if it's going to be bad sex, then I'm probably going to skip it anyway. So why don't we just test drive it? So we kind of barely even had this conversation. Like, hey, what do you think about sex? I like it. What do you think about sex? Great. You want to do it? And we're like, yeah, we did it.
He's transactional.
He was the first and only average penis I'd been with since my divorce. I'd been with grande and not average.
Okay, there was a little debate recently with my friend about what average is.
Do you eat hot dogs?
Yep. Is that average?
Like skinny long, like
I feel like I
five and skinny.
Okay, are hot dogs
Hold
that
on.
long? How long are hot dogs?
Let me look that up.
Like
for
5
you.
and skinny, right? One of the only people that I've like just randomly picked up in public.
She really has had no dating mishaps until now, because goddamn.
Well,
you've had all like only like above average,
big,
like extra large dick. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So I sleep with him. I end up hanging out with him for a minute. Ends up he is a millionaire, and I'm like, and I still don't like him. But
that's why he had to become a millionaire. That's why he had to do it.
How convenient would it be though if I skip the whole dating and the first person I fall for is a millionaire? That's convenient. I'm not out seeking money, but that would just be convenient. My life would automatically be easier. I knew I was just trying to make it work. Well, anyway, we just stayed friends, casual hookups. That's it. I get moody because I have so much trauma.
He has not bought her a Rolex.
Well, no. Even if it's casual, if you ignore me, that is a very big trigger of mine. Even if I'm trying to put something on you, if you're busy, that's fine. Just say no, but don't not answer, because I will come back bitchy. After a day or two, my feelings are going to get hurt. So last interaction that I had with him was something that was, shitty. Like I went to Bonnell's by myself is what it is. And I said, oh, I'd invite you out to Bonnell's, but you're a fucking boring person or something. That's me being hard. I got him a fucking boring person, man. I'm going hard.
That's also like the worst. And one of my like, that might be the like one of the worst things to say to me. I always say I'd rather you love me than hate me. I would never want someone to just be like, she was, I don't know, which one was she?
I mean, and he was.
That's like
totally
the worst
boring
thing you can say to someone.
Yeah, he was totally boring. So that's
Within reason, but
that's the last text that I sent him. Well, then Memorial Day weekend, that Monday, I'm out with a friend. Just happened to be Clear Fork, and I go to Clear Fork all the time. I'm not even at B&B Butchers, but I mean that's where I met him. Just because you live there, like that's my area. Whatever. I see him at Doc B's, and I'm there having a great time with this guy, good-looking guy too, having a great time with him. I get up and I go to the bathroom, and just on the way back, and I'm looking hot, thankfully.
Obviously.
On the way back, I just happened to catch his eyes, and I was like, shit. I just immediately looked in his eyes. I knew who it was. So then I have that awkward moment, like, do I say something? Do I not? Then it's more awkward if I don't say anything. So he's sitting by the bar by himself. And I just walked over to the other side, and I was like, hey, how's it going? Good.
You should have been like, are you here alone because no one wants to hang out with you because you're so fucking boring? ? Or
yeah, so I'm like, what's going on? Blah, blah. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye. And then me and this hot guy leave right from in front of him. Well, of course, I can't leave well enough alone because he doesn't like me, and that bothers me. So what do? The next day, I'm driving out somewhere, and I was like, man, it'd be just nice to hit it and quit it again. So I sent him some texts, and I was like, I know the only reason I like you is because you don't like me, and that's hot for some reason. So give me a call. But here's the embarrassing mishap. It didn't work. I have not heard from him. Not that I need to.
Yeah,
but
but
it's like, shit, I already put everything out there.
Yeah, it's tough.
Now
ignoring thing.
I can't come back from this now.
No, you're done.
I don't care.
You got to block his number.
How hungry I am for a hot dog, I can't. But hopefully there's thicker sausage out there, though. Hopefully I'm not.
There's summer sausage, okay?
Yeah.
There's deer sausage.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much sausage. So,
and I want to try them all.
You know, actually, I almost want to say that like my mishap this week it was having sex with a 21-year-old.
That was this week
or last week. Time is really, I think we're in a simulation. I've never used a calendar. Well, that's not true. Not since like the year 2018. It could have been last month. But since I never said it out loud, then it feels like it. But okay, hold on. Let me check. I have a list of mishaps. I do have a list. Let me see if there's anything better than the fact that I just literally said that on my podcast when I was like, I'm not going to tell anyone this because I'm not going to tell anyone this.
I just realized, I think you know my big dong boy, but I'll have to show you after. Or at least I'm pretty sure
I also had sex with him. No, he pulled his pants down and I was like, leave.
He's older. I'm relatively sure y'all are friends on Facebook. So either you know him, but I mean, he's a Fort Worth. We're all Fort Worth people.
All right. I'm actually excited to find out.
Yeah.
Chances are next week I come in and my mishap is that we're Eskimo sisters.
Yeah. Challenge. How quickly can you put him in the hospital?
I've never put anyone in the hospital.
6 days is the max. So I mean, if you can beat
myself, I have put myself in the hospital like just a million times and no one else. Sucks. My track record, it's dumb. I'm going to go fight somebody today.
So are you trying to date? Are you trying to keep casual? Where's your headspace at?
So single. I'm like also in my Elena Davies era that I've been in since I've known you. I mean, I was with that one guy, Mark, for a moment. 3 years. Like a really long moment. But no, I hate the idea of dating. It seems like a waste of my time. I don't want to sit down with a stranger and talk about myself. That's why I have a fucking podcast. But with dudes, like, I just don't care to. And so I'd rather like meet somebody out in like a casual, like mutual setting, event, bar, something, and be like a makeout whore. I'm just a makeout whore. I want to make out with everybody. I just want to like super duper make out and then buy me my drinks and like compliment me. And then like I'll flirt with you, but in a way that kind of makes you like question your confidence, but in like still in a cute, fun way. And we'll make out and then I'll leave and go home and hit my bong and masturbate and go to sleep and wake up alone. It's really like that's my life strategy right now. Mm-hmm. That was the name of my autobiography for this era.
Do you lucky girl?
What is that?
You don't lucky girl? You don't lucky girl syndrome? You don't manifest?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Best time to manifest is when you masturbate.
I'm definitely not doing it then.
I'm got to.
I'm not.
Because when you masturbate, when you come for a girl and guy, technically, scientifically, it's not bringing life from a woman, but like sex creates life and you're in your like peak of everything. And so it's like this full connection, blah, blah, blah. And it's like the best time to manifest because you're like bringing life to that thing if you're like thinking about it when you're climaxing.
Huh.
Science. Dr. Davies back at it again.
I had a big manifesting party for like the last one. I can't remember what it was.
Should have been a sex party. Should have done both.
But it was like a good moon day or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was supposed to be like a really, really lucky day. So I did all this manifesting and journaling. And then I applied for a 6-figure job. And I just knew for a fact that I got it at Spotify. And I even worked my way in. I had no connections at Spotify. So I was randomly thinking, who's the most successful person I know? And I reached out to that person and was like, hey, do you know anybody at Spotify? And they were like, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, great. Let me tell you why. So anyway, all this lining up. For me, perfection, 6-figure job. I don't need some millionaire with a hot dog weenie anymore. No, I didn't get the job. I did not get the job, and that kind of hurt. It just seemed like everything was going too well that this was the obvious next step. Like this fell into my lap.
You weren't meant to get the job because you were meant to have a different, better 7-figure job and also have an 8-inch daddy dick that is also a millionaire. Stop limiting yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, that was a favor.
Yeah.
That was a favor for you. Yeah. The universe is on your side.
Manifesting and lucky girling. And I lucky girled so hard. I have a bartending job one night a week. And I was lucky girling so hard that I had to tell a customer to quit giving me diamonds. I said, quit, just stop giving me diamonds. If you want to do something, then do work around my house, then do this. And that's why he ended up with the dishwasher.
Again,
Just a
okay,
friend,
even weirder. I would have rather had the diamonds.
I need my cabinets painted and I need new
but I want the
flooring
diamonds. I'm going to sell the diamonds, profit off of it, still continue to pay my salaried work like assistant who hires those people who would just pay less for it. Yeah. And then I profited. No. It's more work.
It's just a guy doesn't know what to get a girl.
I'm over here like, I can't do my dishes, but let me sell diamonds on the side.
But it's just a nice guy just wants to get a girl, doesn't know what to get a girl. So he gets a girl, I'm going to go to Zell's and get her some diamonds. So I ended up, I have birthday and Christmas back to back. Yeah, so I got one set for Christmas and the one set for birthday. And then Valentine's Day comes around and I said, stop giving me fucking diamonds. Paint a cabinet.
Here's the thing. Maybe you were onto something when you didn't like me because no one in my life is buying me diamonds, fixing my dishwasher. So maybe all the people in my life are just like, like at least she gets me into free concerts. You know, she always drives. So
you're driving yourself around?
Yeah, I actually complained
about. You drive your friends around?
Yeah, because they want to ride in my car, but then they don't think about the fact that it cost me $1 million to put gas in my car. So, but I'm the chauffeur.
Does your car have a name?
Yes, the G Spot.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. As someone with a G as the last name, I approve of that.
Yeah, I have the G Wagon. Got to call it the G Spot. Mm-hmm. It's great. Does your car have a name?
No.
Oh, well, we need a workshop. We need a... Hey, again, the Nissan needs a name. We'll go have a little chat with your Nissan later and see if they have any sort of opinion on their name.
Like maybe Taylor or Betty.
I like Betty instantly.
Taylor Swift fan.
Oh my God. Speaking of Taylor Swift, I freaking forgot about this. And I even have notes in front of me. Guys, this is specifically for the DFW listeners. So if you're not in DFW, you can tune out. But if you're a Taylor Swift fan, keep listening. And there will be more to come on this with a little Elena Davies twist.
So it's the Taylor Swift Eras Tour collection that they have in Arlington. And these are pieces that it's a museum. No, you can't touch. Yes, I did ask. I just wanted to touch something that she had touched before. I know you can't touch stuff, but it's not illegal. So can I touch it? You touched it. But no, they won't let you touch it.
I even asked. I was like, did the people that touch this have to wear the white gloves? And she was like, oh, yeah. And it was only one person that was allowed.
Yeah. And I want to be that other person. I just want to touch it. Mm-hmm. But she has the Taylor Swift Eras Tour collection, and it's all stuff that Taylor owns herself. It's her Taylor's version, so they don't have Reputation she doesn't own yet. So they don't have any Reputation outfits because they just want to support her as a businesswoman and support all of her efforts. So it's really cool. It's out in Arlington Museum Modern Art. And it's going to be there
Arlington Museum of Art.
Okay, and it's going to be there until September.
Okay, that was the thing I didn't know, and people have asked because I posted about it on my Instagram because we got to do a little early preview.
You looked hot,
yeah,
the fucking man.
I looked so fucking good.
You looked fucking hot. My Eras Tour outfit was great. I'll have to show you that. Okay,
I saw it. It was, but I'll see it again.
Yeah.
No, I really felt like I needed to fully just embrace the Taylor moment. So I really went full sparkle pantsuit with pink Louboutins and a Louboutin bag that had boobies all over it that I didn't even realize until Lacey was like, "What's on your bag?" And I looked at it and I was like, a bunch of tits and some other stuff, some miscellaneous things. I was fucking rocking it. Thank you for saying something.
Yeah.
But it was actually, I'm not a big Swiftie, not a big museum person. It was so cool. So interesting. They have her whole entire timeline of her career on the wall. I literally stood there with my mouth open the whole time reading it, just shaking my head. What? You've done all of this stuff and I can't fucking send an email? This bitch is 16, top 4 songs in billboards and they're all hers and I can't clean a fork. It's just painful to be alive at the same time as Taylor Swift. Love it, support her,
incredible.
Happy, amazing because we get to experience it. But then once my brain keeps going, I'm like, Elena, what are you doing on Earth?
Well, we can't all be Taylor Swifts.
You're right. I have to be Elena fucking Davies and bother people for years until I stop.
And then win them over. With your dirty whore mouth.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful compliment. That was one of the nicest things anyone's ever said. You're forgiven after that compliment. I was really surprised at how interesting it was. They have like other features to it. They really put a lot of thought into it. And even if you're not like a huge Taylor Swift fan, I would say go. Cute, fun thing to do in DFW. There's a chance it's not going to be anywhere else. Like, it very much could be like an exclusive thing. So if you're not from DFW, then maybe you need to go on a plane and come visit us and go check out the stockyards.
And if you are or are not a Taylor Swift fan, also be sure to check out 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast where I don't talk about dicks. Yeah. Well, hold on. That's not true. I talk about some of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends, and they are, in fact, dicks. So, yeah.
Oh,
but
so
no,
you do.
But not the same. Yeah. But we break down song breakdowns every single week, and it is a lot of fun. And it is so fun to be a Swiftie. She makes it so much fun. I sit at home on the weekends and watch her Eras Tour concert every freaking weekend.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like you're hyper-focused.
It's good.
But she's such an intentional person and like so incredibly, like, it's just undeniably, she's just undeniably amazing. But yeah, she has a Taylor Swift podcast. So if you are a Swiftie, definitely listen. If you're not a Swiftie, I would say give her a chance, because I used to a little bit be like meh, meh, meh. And now I just give her a chance. She's amazing.
I gave Elena a chance, and look at what happened.
See, look at the possibilities, folks. You know, if you just shift your mindset a little bit, you're going to turn into a whole entire Taylor Swift fan, you know? And then, yeah, while you're subscribing to her podcast, it's everywhere you can find podcasts, right?
Yeah, you can find at the 13 Taylor Swift podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple, all the places. That's all of our socials. And then I'm Lacey Gee, LACEYGEE 13. And you can find me everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So while you're out subscribing to her shit, make sure you're subscribed to me everywhere, if you don't mind. Even if you don't listen on Apple, just go ahead and subscribe. YouTube, don't forget, you can look at how cute I am every week. Rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, masturbate, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next Tuesday.